Hello and welcome to the Okwe John Show, where we simplify faith and finance. Very recently, I was speaking to my mom and she was telling me about her early years. And she started to tell me that at a really young age, she went to live with her grandmother, Mama Elizabeth, as she was called at the time. Now, just to quickly clarify, it really takes a village in Africa. This saying is so common. It's not unusual that you'd find that cousins, aunties, uncles, grandparents all live together because we're all involved in raising each other. So back to my mom's story. My mom was telling me that her grandmother at the time taught her two crucial life lessons that have formed and helped to shape who she is today. The first lesson is the lesson of serving, giving her time to others. From a really young age, Mama Elizabeth would encourage my mom to go to a local church and serve. Now the thing is, my mom said at the time, some days, because choir practice would run a bit later than usual, so my mom would come home late and she would get punished for coming home late. That didn't really matter because the next week, Mama Elizabeth was back again encouraging my mom to go back for rehearsals. So she taught my mom why it is very important to give your time to serving others, serving in your community. The second lesson Mama taught my mom was the importance of saving and giving their money. Now, it's how Mama was able to teach these lessons that I find just incredible and I feel the need to share. The first way Mama did it was by telling. Mama started off by telling and teaching them the importance of these lessons. The first is you give because you're called to be a blessing. The second, you give because it is an act of love. It is a way of showing others around you that you love them. The second way Mama did it was by showing. Mama showed them through her own lifestyle. Mama didn't have very much. She had quite a lot of children living with her at the time. And Mama did not earn much from the trade she was doing. But Mama imbibed the discipline of still giving from the little she had. The third way was providing guidance. Mama was always there to guide my mom and the other children, teaching them. When my mom would get money from people, would earn a little bit of money herself, Mama would bring the tin. They had a tin where they drilled a hole in and they would put their money in there because they weren't allowed to touch it until a certain date, maybe Christmas period. Then they would open it up and Mama was there to ask them, so what do you want to do with all this money? And the first thing, the most important thing, is to give some of that money away, whatever the amount is, give something away. It's no wonder years down the line, I remember as far back as going to Sunday school, we would always have something to give, to drop in the offering bag. I remember some days as a really young child in primary school, coming back from school, and my parents would give us money to give to those who were begging for money on the road or asking for money to eat or something. And my parents would encourage and teach us to give. These lessons were taught by my great-grandmother to my grandmother, and they were also taught to my mother. And my mom has now passed on these lessons to me. And I hope to pass on these lessons to my children and my children's children as far down as I can, God willing. Your children are not too young or too old to start teaching about money. You are the example that they're watching. Remember to tell, remember to show, and remember to provide guidance for them. It's never too early and it's never too late to start. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, please subscribe so you're one of the first people to know when the next video drops.